Hey everybody, Alec Tackmann here. We're continuing through our Go and Practice book 2. We're on page 25. We're talking about 16th note triplets. If you haven't got the books already, please check them out. Leave a nice review, all this stuff. It's much appreciated. It's just a one-man operation here, so any help I can get, I much appreciate. But anyway, let's get on to it. Page 25, 16th note triplets. Okay. Sometimes people also call these sextuplets, but what they are is you're playing 6 notes in the span of 1/4 note. So like the previous page, I was talking about the end of the last video. Check that one out if you haven't done that already. Listen to the last video before we do the 16 triplets, just heads up. But you want to always have the metronome going. We're getting tight subdivisions here. We need 6 hits per click. Now there's a lot to think about, especially at faster tempos. I kind of, for one, don't think about each individual count when I'm playing them that quickly. What I will do is think about a couple ways to divide that up. So, the number 6, it's divisible by 2 and 3, okay? So if we look at number 1 is first dealing with the way to cut 6 into 3 groups of 2, okay? So what's happening is in the first count, we play triplets, triplet, 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 triplet. And then what we're going to do is when we get to the sextuplet part of it, or 16th triplet part, we're going to, in your brain, still think of that initial triplet that we set it up with, but that's what's going to be what is your right hand playing. So triplet, 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 triplet. My right hand is still playing those triplets. I'm just filling in with the left hand. Triplet, triplet. And that will get you through. Versus having to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, it doesn't work that way. So I think triplet, 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 triplet. You put an accent on it too while you're learning if you want. 2, 3, 4. So the number 1 is 2, 3, 4, triplet, triplet. Okay, the second way to think of it, we're going to make it 2 groups of 3. So this is the opposite. So now this is going to be played up against 8th notes. This is number 2. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 8th note. Put a little bit of an accent on there so you can hear it. And we're playing these in your head. Instead of thinking the triplet like before, you're going to think of 8th notes. You're going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we're essentially putting a triplet on every 8th note now, versus before we were putting a triplet on every 1/4 note. So 2 ways to think of it. Do whatever one works best for you. It's also going to matter like what the context around the 16th triplet is for which one you're actually going to play. So anyway, let's look ahead at some of the other ones. In number 3, we have it up against the 8th note. Again, lots of subdivisions here. Have the metronome rolling, even though I just didn't do that right now. For numbers 4, 5, and 6, we have 16 triplets, but just half of the beat. Okay, so in number 4, we're going to play this rhythm, which has no syllable. I always kind of think of that one as like the counterpart to the 1 and a 2 rhythm. Instead of 2 16th notes, we're just going to play triplets though, 3 triplets. So number 4 goes 1 and 2. And that's it, not usually too hard of one to get. I would begin that triplet though with a left hand like it says on there. So when you get back to the next beat, you're on your right hand again. Number 5 is the opposite. The triplet is first. I think of that one as the counterpart to the 1EN rhythm. It's now still 16th note triplets, but not a sextuplet anymore. If we go to number 7, okay, now we're going to take 2 16th notes and put them right next to 3 16th note triplets. So like the previous page where we're jumping from 8th notes to 8th triplets, we're going to do the same thing but much quicker. So this would be helpful to think of the downbeat, and then the end of the beat is your anchor points for when to do this. So you're going to have, I'll do this one with the metronome. Here's number 7. Now, what's going to happen here is it's going to sound almost like you're playing a quintuplet. And it shouldn't, though, because they're not evenly spaced here. It should be ba-ba-ba-da-da-da. 16th triplet tap. The third measure of this one gives us every subdivision we have so far. 8th note, 8th triplet, 16th note, 16th triplet. Let's see if I can play it. Okay, if you take away the point of reference, what's going to happen is it sounds like you're actually just speeding up. But it still makes mathematical sense. So when you get really handy with your subdivisions, you can actually make some pretty cool rhythmic ideas come out just by like giving this illusion of speeding up and slowing down, but you're still actually in time. The rest of the page is just more examples of you know, messing with the subdivisions. But yeah, 16 triplets I think are really cool. Like when you get the hang of them, they still give this illusion of a lot of speed without having to go fully into 30-second notes, which sometimes can be kind of crazy. But you know, like even like young kids can get a hang of these too. Like I was saying in the last video, feeling triplets, like, or in this case sextuplets, it's not that like crazy mentally. It's a lot of times just a physical challenge. Like so for like little kids, instead of having them, you know, instead of bogging them down with all this like talk about math and, you know, 6 can be divided, I'll just say, do you know the song Bippity Boppity Boo? And then just play that, Bippity Boppity Boo. And that's a sextuplet. Bippity Boppity Boo. There's a lot of ways you can do that. So yeah, they're a cool little addition. Again, make sure you got the metronome going or else it doesn't count, that whole spiel. But yeah, thanks again for checking it out. Any questions, let me know, and see you all in the next video.